Any other questions I haven't covered so far? Because I'm trying to go as fast as I can. We don't have much time.
Wasn't there a faction of the Anunnaki that designed the human hive with their own leaving or enslaving the human race to take the resources from the planet? And that was my understanding.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat what you just said for the rest of you so that you can hear it. He was asking, wasn't there a faction of the Nibiruans or the Anunnaki who crossed their DNA with the humans to create a race that would help enslave the planet and take the gold? Well, that is a common way of thinking, but it is not the Nibiruans' perspective. My job is to give you the Nibiruans' perspective and let you make your own decisions. The Nibiruan, the planet Nibiru is part of a system, you could say. It's like its own little sun, but it's not an ignited sun. And there are planets and asteroids in the vicinity of Nibiru. They're all like a huge entourage moving forward. Nibiru is also the field office for the Federation of Worlds. Its job is to be a go-between between the Earth Grand Experiment, which is the experiment where we can work out our differences and end the controversy and the conflict out in the galaxy. And as a result of that, it has been in numerous galactic wars. After the end of the last galactic war, and this is part of the history, after the end of the last galactic war, we had the colonies on Mars and Venus had already been destroyed. Nibiru had taken a lot of hits. Its atmosphere was dwindling. The people were dying like flies. Because of Nibiru's presence and their ability to provide protection, we were able to route out the other side, and they left this solar system and allowed humans to come back and colonize. Nibiru was crippled. Nibiru went looking for gold to suspend in its atmosphere, because anybody who knows anything about radiation knows that gold can create a shield to radiation. So to save their planet, they went to Earth, and Earth had surplus amounts of gold. They began to mine. They couldn't mine fast enough. They couldn't withstand the heat, because in their world, they have a 3,600-year orbit around our planet, and it takes them far out into deep space. Well, they don't have heat on their world like we do. They weren't that close to the sun. Okay, they have artificial sun. And so they needed to create a species that could help mine gold. Now, the Nibiruans have been a part, like many other advanced galactic races, of creating child races. They also are aware that anytime you create a child, just like here on Earth, when you create a child, you are responsible for that child, so that child is grown and is able to go out into society, right? You hope that's when they go out into society, when they're grown. They don't stay at home. Okay. They knew that if they were creating a race, they would be responsible for that race. So yes, they did create a race. They created it out of a Homo erectus, which was an evolving ape-like being. And they crossed it with their DNA. That's why they say God made man in his image. The gods made man in their image. They did mine the gold originally. Then they continued to evolve this species. There was conflict amongst the Nibiruans about what to do with this species now that we've created a child, just like there are problems between you and your partner over raising your kids. You want to do it one way, they want to do it another. There is no difference. That's my point. That's their point. They had to make decisions about us, the child race, as parents. They may have made some mistakes. They may have done some things really good. But they're not here to tell you we did it all right or we did it all wrong. They're saying, look at it from the perspective of a parent with a child. You're going to try to raise a child the best that you can. They would come back around. They would upgrade us over and over again. In 3400 BC, because we were so special, we were created with the DNA of all the major species in the galaxy. Therefore, we had relatives all over the galaxy who could claim relationship to us. We were evolving. We were technologically whiz kids, but we were spiritually babes in the wood. we were constantly being pulled into one group's drama after another group's drama. We were used as fodder and war machines. We were used to create technology for them, to implement technology for them. We were being used by our galactic relatives. The Nibiruans finally stepped in at the Tower of Babel, which was an attempt by one of the group to go against the family and create a war, and we would be drug into the middle of it. If we were drug into the middle of it, we would not have survived as a species. And Lil decided to disconnect 10 of our strands. That would basically take us backwards, but also make us undesirable to our relatives, so that they would leave us alone and allow us to spiritually mature. And they said, when humanity has reached a point where they are spiritually able to step back and reclaim their power, even without those 10 strands, they reach that level of consciousness where you guys are here today, they will give you back the ability to reclaim, or realign, reconnect, and reactivate those 10 dormant strands. And that's why I was sent to share that information. So, in a long way of answering your question, yes, they did create them to mine gold. They're not looking for all the gold, and they're ready to graduate us. They are ready to not be parents anymore. They want us to graduate and go out there and stand proud in the galactic community and take our rightful place. Yes?
Are the Anunnaki that you're talking about, Enlil and Enki, are they reptilian beings? And that's why we have a reptilian brain system?
That's a good question. Are Anu and Enki reptilian beings? Enki is reptilian. He is part reptilian. His mother was a dragon queen. His father was not. His father was Anu. Enlil is not reptilian. Yes?
I got sucked into the Nancy Leader thing in 2003.
Yes.
My question specifically, I'm not trying to be popular, but shouldn't there be more of a perturbation? Shouldn't the orbits be more perturbed? If, okay, you're saying that the planets, our planets, that we go like this, and Nibiru's going like this, shouldn't we see more perturbation, that's a hard word to say, in our own? I mean, how could have Kepler calculated the planets going around the sun like that if there's an object that massive going like this?
Well,
this
when
wouldn't
it's-
be elliptical, would it?
Well, when it's the furthest out, it's not exerting much pressure.
Right. But eventually it's going to move in.
And then you're going to see more perturbation.
Okay,
Yes.
but yet that's never taught. I mean, we're taught
No,
that
but
there's
it's
an
actually happening though.
Okay, so
it
it's
is
an
happening.
illusion to people with telescopes and radio astronomy. I'm just not. Why does NASA not have any evidence to
Well,
support
how do you
that?
know they don't have it?
Okay.
Yes. And you'll have to speak up so the people in the back can hear you.
Okay, Nibiru makes a complete revolution every 3,600 or 36,000.
3,600.
Now, at what point does it affect us the most gravitationally?
When it comes the closest to us.
Which is?
Very soon. Yes.
If the Nibirans want to see the Earthlings become a galactic civilization, what are the forces that are keeping us in this galactic quarantine that we're currently in?
Well, that's a really good question, and it's a long answer because a lot of context that goes into answering that question, and I'll be discussing that. What is tonight? Monday. We're going to do Nibiru in 2012 and that whole history part of who's on the other side, because there's somebody behind the secret government,
Can you give us a
and
little
it's not
teaser?
just the reptilians. It's somebody beyond the reptilians, and they look human.